Hi everybody, Cheryl and Lady coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home, and today I'm going to show you how I make medicinal tinctures from calendula. This also works on all kinds of different other kinds of herbs and medicinal flowers and stuff. So anyway, I hope you join us. So a few weeks ago I put out a video on what I'm growing in my garden this year, medicinally, both herbs and flowers. And I showed you my medicinal herb bed and also around the rest of the garden where some medicinal herbs are growing. Oh, I think I just found a yellow jacket's nest. Crap. You see them? They all seem to be flying right around there behind the compost bin. Anyway, we're not going to get too close there. Hello. I moved away from the yellow jackets. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I put together a video all about the medicinal herbs and flowers that I'm growing this year in the garden and what their different purposes are and how you can use them. And calendula is one of my favorites. It's an antiviral, it's an antibacterial, it has lots of healing properties. So I thought I would show you how I make a tincture out of calendula, and also the differences between a tincture and an extract, which can kind of be confusing. They're both just as easy. So to start, we're going to harvest some calendula. And while I'm doing this, I'm also going to deadhead some of the ones that have already turned. When I cut a calendula, I like to do it just like I do with my zinnias in the cut and come again method. And as you can see right here, this flower here has another one budding up. So I'm going to cut above that to encourage that little bud to flower. It doesn't really matter what stage of the flower is, although I want it to be flowering. But I could take a bud like this, or I could take something that's on its way out like this. These look like a different variety of calendula. I'm not sure if it is or not. They are pretty though. Look at how they have like a double petals going on. So I'm actually going to cut these to bring them inside and put in a vase. Most of this calendula was actually self-seeded. And there were a lot of self-seeded ones that I actually moved because I didn't like where they were growing. I think I left this one where it was on purpose because the groundhog ate the cabbage, and so I didn't need the space in here. Okay, I think I have enough. I'm just going to be doing a small jar today. So let's go inside and I'll show you how to make the tincture. I'm just going to give them a rinse just to make sure there's no bugs crawling around on them. And I'm going to strip the leaves because there's some goodness in that. But I'm really concentrating on the flower heads. Okay, we've got the flower heads and some leaves, and the rest is going into the compost. Pardon my seedlings, but I'm multitasking. They're getting a little water. Anyway, the difference between a tincture and an extract is actually pretty simple. An extract is any medium that you put your flour or herb in. It could be water, it could be oil. There are some other things. There's a fancy name for it, which I will put here because I can't pronounce it, for the mediums that are used in extracting the medicinal goodiness from the flour. A tincture uses alcohol. The stronger the alcohol, the stronger the tincture will be. But for this purposes, for making tinctures, I use vodka. It's kind of got a bland flavor, so it doesn't really interfere with the flour's taste or smell, although calendula does not taste too good, I'll be honest. Anyway, so I use vodka, and when I make my tinctures, and I make my extracts just with water, and I'll show you what I do. So just a couple of months ago, I got dirt in my eye. If you remember that video, I did it with my sunglasses on, because what happened was my eye got very goopy and infected, and I knew I should have gone to the doctor, but I said, hey, let me try this first, because, all right, so I don't like going to doctors. But anyway, I took some calendula flowers, and, you know, like a handful, and I boiled it up with some water. Oh, I would say probably twice as much water as volume of the flowers. Nothing too specific, though. I let it boil for about, I would say, 20 minutes, half an hour or so. By the way, you may want to keep an eye on what you're boiling and not, oh, I don't know, say film a video while you're doing it, because I burnt it a little bit, but that's all right. I just added some more water to it. Okay, once I have boiled it for about 20 minutes to a half an hour, I let it cool down. The extract is actually even easier because you don't have to boil anything. You just take a jar, and I'm using a small jar this time, and you fill it to about 2/3 to 3/4 full. I didn't pick enough calendula. I'll be back. All right, I got some more. Okay, so this I would say is about 2/3 full. And then we crack open the vodka, and all we do is pour it in. And you want the flowers to be completely covered. All right, I'll just give it a good shake. So clearly this is very quick and easy. However, if you want to get all of that medicinal goodiness, you really need to let this sit for a good couple of months. This is my calendula from a couple of months ago. And as you can see, it's turned color and everything. And I'm going to show you how I process it after it's done. So I have a strainer that is very fine, but if you don't have one of these, cheesecloth would do. And then I have this bowl that has a little bit of a lip on it that I like because then I can pour from here. So it's actually really simple. You just take your aged calendula and strain it. And then what I do to get as much moisture out of it as I can is I just use my fist to kind of squish it. Then I can just put it back in the jar. And here we go. Look at that color. So I also found these cute little champagne bottles up in Massachusetts last year, and I put my extracts in these as well. I've got calendula, lavender, echinacea. Another really good way to actually take your tincture when you're not feeling well, and this is a combination of calendula and echinacea, is by dropper. You could just put it underneath your tongue and absorb it into your system that way. You're supposed to leave it in for about a minute or so, but I don't think I'm gonna last. Anyway, that's the idea. Or you can add it to tea or something like that. If you don't want to have the alcohol content, just put it in something that is very hot. And this is good if I want to take a shot. Say you're not feeling very well. You've got a cold or some kind of virus or something. Chin chin. Well, if you're really sick, you know. Okay, so once this extract is cooled down enough, I strain it the same way I do with the alcohol-based one. Then what I did is I put it in a little jar. Then I put it in the refrigerator to get it nice and cold. And to treat my eye, I just dipped a cotton ball in here when it was nice and cold, and I used it as a compress. And I just kept that on for a while, you know, while I was watching TV out of one eye anyway. And I have to tell you, it cleared up that infection within 4 days. I don't know if an antibiotic would have worked that fast. So I was very pleased with the results of using calendula, and I think it's one of the very best medicinal flowers we can grow in the garden. Plus, they're beautiful. By the way, the extract that's boiled is about this color, only a little bit lighter. Because I burnt the calendula, it came out this color. I would still use it, but that's me. I don't care. You can use these methods, whether it's extracts or tinctures, for pretty much any of your medicinal herbs and flowers in your garden, and give it a shot. I know that they've worked for me and saved me maybe from a trip to the doctors. And with that being said, I would like to remind everybody that I am not a doctor, nor do I play one on YouTube. I'm just kind of relying on some of the wisdom from days gone by before I go running off to the doctor for another shot, pill, or prescription. I'm a little loopy from all of those takes I had to do when I was taking that shot. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And I hope you subscribe and join our growing community. And from the Ladies Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye!